Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Sit Down Comedian. I've got Dr. Rayburn here with me, the Sit Down Comedian, and he has agreed to join us for a special Christmas edition. And he's got some more jokes for us, and we'd like to hear what they are. So,
Kelly, I'm so glad that you got me here
of course.
because I thought for a while that I was going to miss out on this wonderful opportunity to be here.
Oh yeah?
As I was coming in from Texas, you can know when you hit Louisiana because it's a change in personality, culture, and everything. And so across the line, there was this friend of mine that went to sea in Lake Charles. And he was a newspaper photographer and writer, and he was going to see a Frenchman that lived to be so old that he was just the oldest person in Louisiana. Well, we went and asked him, said, "Le Garçon," says, "how come you lived so long that in this country and everybody else is dying at 80, 90? He says, "I'll tell you what I do myself." He says, "Every night before I go to bed, I takes myself a clove of garlic and I take that into my mouth and I chew it up. And then I go to myself to bed, and then I'm sleeping there soundly, and the death angel, he come up and say to me, 'Garçon, I come to take you home tonight.' And I say to him, death angel, 'Who do you say I am?' And that death angel look at me and he say, 'Never mind, Garçon, I'll see you tomorrow.'" But look, it's not just some Frenchmen. Those Aggies are just as bad. LSU Tigers, they was going to play them Aggies. And
The
so,
Texas A&M.
the Texas A&M Aggies, yeah. And so they were all coming over there. And the 8 o'clock time for the, what do they call it when they start the game? The kickoff. And they kick off the game. But there ain't no Aggies there. And so they go try to find them Aggies. And they go down back toward Texas, and they go in there by Lake Charles. And they find out what do they call them?
The tour bus?
Yeah, the tour bus there. And he says, "With you Aggies, were you supposed to be at the LSU Stadium to play them Tigers?"
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, look, we're going to get there as soon as we can. But when we come in Louisiana, we see a sign that says clean restroom up ahead. We done cleaned 5 of them things, and we got about 6, 8 more."
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And so what happened is that we riding into coming on into Louisiana, and we're on the interstate, and lo and behold, we look out the window, a chicken running the same speed we is on the interstate.
What?
He got 3 legs, and he's keeping up with us. We speed up, he speed up, we speed up. And he said, "You know what, I go follow that thing and see what he do." And so what we did is we followed him, and pretty soon he turned off the interstate onto a road. He go a little bit, and he turned off onto a gravel road, and he go a little bit more, and he turned off on a dirt road, and then he turned off a little bit on the what do you call it, driveway.
Yeah.
And he goes to the driveway, and we pull up in a stop, and the foreman come out there, and he says, I said, "Man, look, do you know you got a 3-legged chicken there?" He said, "Yes." He said, "I got a 3-legged chicken there." He said, "Well, what you do with that thing?" He said, "Let me tell you what happened." He said, "I love the leg of a chicken, but I don't like nothing else, and so I get myself a chicken and I eat it, the leg, and then throw the rest of the chicken away. And then what happens after that, I get myself married, and my wife, what she like? The leg. She don't like nothing else. So we got 1 chicken, we got 2 legs, we're okay. But what happens when you get married and you have some babies?
Yeah, I have a baby.
And so he has his baby, and as he grow up, what's he like?
Legs.
The legs. And so we have to kill 2 chickens to get 3 legs. And that ain't no good, so we do ourselves, what do they call it whenever they take the beans and make the pollen?
Genetic.
Genetic alteration.
Yep.
aberration, something like that. I don't know. And so what happens is, then we get this chicken here, and we're gonna fix it up so we're a leg for me, a leg for my wife, and a leg for my boy. And I said to him, I said, "Well, look, Mr. Bourgeois, how does that thing taste?" And he looked at me and he said, "I don't know. I never catch one yet."
It's too fast. Too fast with those 3
And
legs.
so we wound up in Lafayette, and my buddy over there, Bourgeois too, he says he was sitting there just mad one day fussing, and I said, "Bourgeois, why you mad?" He said, "Look, that my boy come home from school at 10 o'clock in the morning," and I asked him, I said, "Look, boy, how come you come home from school at 10 o'clock in the morning?" And he said, "The teacher sent me home." And I said, "Why did that teacher send you home?" He said, "He asked me who signed that Declaration of Independence." And I told him I didn't know who signed the Declaration, and I don't particularly care who signed the Declaration. And he sent me home. I was out of here, went up to the school, said, "Teacher, you sent my boy home?" He said, "Yeah, I sent my boy home." "Yeah, I sent your boy home." I said, "Well, why you sent my boy home?" "Well, I asked him who sent the Declaration of Independence, and he said he didn't know and he didn't care." And I grabbed that boy by the nape of the neck, and I said, "Listen, boy, if you sign that declaration, you say so. If you didn't sign it, you keep your mouth shut."
Some smart people down there.
Uh,
That's
So
good. That's
anyway,
good.